Okay, welcome to the MMA Mental Podcast, hosted by myself, Ray, and my good friend Jay. You alright, Jay?
Yep, I'm good, thanks. Good to get this thing started.
Yeah, this is our first time doing this, so we're hoping that we're going to get enough people to be able to do it again next week. Enough people to be able to do it again next week. So we'll get straight into it then. So we'll start off by talking about the event just gone. I think it's a good place to start. UFC in Japan, which was a brilliant event. I take it you watched the event at the weekend, Jay?
Yeah, I was able to. I couldn't possibly start live because it finished at 7 o'clock over here UK time. But
it
yeah,
did finish at 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't stay up live either, to be fair.
Did you watch the prelims live?
Yeah, I watched the prelims live, and I watched up till 4 o'clock in the morning, and I gave up then, and I watched the rest the next day. I taped it and watched it the next day.
Well, that's pretty understandable, but no, we're treated over here, aren't we? Because the next UFC event is on Friday.
That's correct. Yeah, on Friday. Yeah.
So we're actually, in a weird way, we're treated because it means we can have Saturday to recover as opposed to Sunday.
I can't see it on the TV though. Is it on the TV, or we got to watch it on the internet?
I assume it's UFC.tv, but
okay.
ESPN might all of a sudden just turn it around. Maybe.
We need to check it last minute, don't we?
Yeah, we'll work it out. But for now, I guess we assume this on UFC.tv.
Okay. Well, what we'll do, we'll start from the bottom of the card, and we can work through. We can talk about the different fights.
All right.
So the opening fight was Tai Quinn Zhang versus Isai Tamura. Did you see that fight?
I did. I was last on the main card, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Because it was the only card that wasn't on the television in America, so they shown that one right at the end.
I was a bit. How do you describe it? I was annoyed because Tai Quinn Zhang was, he's supposed. I wanted him to fight Nam Fan. I guess that's
yeah.
The
We
truth.
all wanted that, didn't we?
Yeah, it would have been more interesting, and it would have been a better win for Nam Fan fighting in Japan. But I guess the UFC set themselves up to lose there because that was supposed to be Tai Quann's fight to win.
He never really got into the fight, though, did he? Even in round one, he was being controlled.
Yeah, exactly. But in the end, I guess it was China versus Japan, and the fight was happening in Japan. So huge finish, though. Huge.
It was. He was out, weren't he?
Yeah, the extra punches were just for fun. What can you say?
But I think on another night, he could have won KO of the night, which would have been great on his UFC debut. If it weren't for a fight later on that we'll get to, I think he could have won that night, couldn't he?
He won't be forgotten. I won't forget that knockout.
No way. It was just the way he was asleep. He was literally he was not moving. He was just gone. He was out cold.
Yeah.
Which you don't always see that with knockouts, do you?
No.
You get your old TKO, but it's not always you get the actual knockout where somebody's out. He was definitely out.
It's not like the old-fashioned premature stoppage. Yeah, there was no doubt about that. He was out.
It was a premature stoppage. No, I think we're all right there. Definitely a stoppage, not premature.
But wasn't Tai Quinn? What confused me was Tai Quinn Zhang wasn't he 33?
Let's have a look. I'm on there.
For a featherweight, that's, again, don't quote me, I think it was off the top of my head, remembering from the tail of the tape or whatever. But, yeah, I swear it said he's 30.
Yeah, bang on, Jay, he's 33.
What? Why are you a featherweight at 33? Like, even Rampage is 33, and he's 200...
He can't make 205.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, well, he's just, I guess all these Asian people, not trying to be racist on the first podcast, but the Asians do tend to be smaller, and maybe...
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe it's that. That's why they don't have many heavyweight...
Apart from Hong Man Choi.
Yeah, and that's a one-off, I assume. But up to
how many Zhang Tai Quans can you get into one Hong Man Choi?
145. Probably
3?
2, maybe 3.
Maybe 3, I'm thinking.
2.5.
350.
If you cut a Chinaman in half, or find a very small...
He must be close to 350 pounds.
Yeah.
Hong Man Choi. So that's 3, isn't it?
That's 2 minus 50.
No, 150, 3. Oh, yeah, you're right. Excuse your maths is better than mine. Yeah, okay then. So we'll get 2.5 into him then.
On the opening podcast, your maths is looking weak.
I know, it's looking about MMA, isn't it?
Hopefully you can redeem yourself later by embarrassing myself.
Oh, well, we can always cut those bits out, can't we? Okay. Did you get to see any of the? Did you get to see the prelims, or did you work through them all in the end?
Yeah, in the end I managed to. I missed the Steve Cantwell fight because I never really get excited to watch Steve Cantwell.
Okay. okay. It weren't a bad fight, actually. We'll get on to the next fight. The next one was a controversial fight. It was Takeya Mizugaki and Chris Cariosa. What did you think?
I actually kind of understand the decision.
Was you not shocked at the decision?
These days, when a fight's even slightly close, I don't really get surprised by decisions.
You know what? When you think of the home field advantage and the fact that he'd have the takedowns, I mean, I was chatting with people, with our friends from the MMA Playground. We'll give a big shout out to them as well. Chatting with our friends from the MMA Playground, and we were all gobsmacked. We'd all turned off. We'd all thought that switched off. We all thought the decision was done and dusted. We're all counting our points up.
Yeah.
Then they back Cariosi. We were just gobsmacked.
It's one of those fights where now it's reached the stage with judging. I'm sure over the next years of podcasts, until they change something, we'll talk about the judging. So we'll try to stay away from that topic. But overall, I'm not surprised. If you leave it in the hands of the judges, I don't care how badly you've beaten someone, you've got to assume you could have won or lost. Or even a draw, is the case of Edgar Maynard. So when I saw the fight, I was kind of thinking it's gone either way. And one of my housemates even scored it for Carioso, because he said that when it's not Mizugaki. Yeah, it is Mizugaki. When Mizugaki did take him down, he didn't do a heck of a lot with it.
No.
So
I was gobsmacked with the decision. I really was.
I can understand why, but I thought I was prepared. I prepared myself for a weird decision. I don't know why, but it happens.
I was surprised. I really thought it was a Mizugaki decision. I tell you what, even the UFC was surprised. They gave Mizugaki his win bonus.
Yeah, but then they also
Not very often that happens.
They also got round to giving Mike Easton his opponent after about a month.
Yeah.
Jared
didn't they give him a bonus for it?
Not at the time, but they gave Jared PZN his win bonus in the end.
Yeah. I thought it was a fight of the night bonus for his performance.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah.
They didn't win fight of the night because there was another big fight on that night, but a lot of people felt they should have done. I think they gave him a fight of the night bonus.
Going back,
I think they got extra money for that.
Going back to fight of the nights, I really think that Tony Ferguson and Eve Edwards deserved their fight of the night on that card, whatever that card was back a while.
That was a Ultimate Fighter card, wasn't it?
Yeah, they went at it.
That was a pretty good card though, because that was the night that Diego Brandao pulled off that crazy armbar.
But didn't that win fight of the night as well?
Possibly.
But it
was topsy-turvy that fight, because he was in trouble, wasn't he?
Yeah, but my issue with Diego Brandao is his chin, man. Everybody's riding on this freight train that he's the next Thiago Silva and all this. Thiago Alves, I mean, but he's been knocked out before. Like, you can't... I know that Rampage has been knocked out before, but his chin isn't going to be the best in the world.
Yeah, he does look good, though. He has looked good so far in the UFC, to be fair. You can only judge on what we've seen so far. I mean, he's blasting through people. He recovered well in that fight as well. But
I guess I look into records a lot, but he's 14-7. So
yeah, that isn't very good, to be fair.
No, it's not. He might be good for a time being, but as soon as he starts losing, I think he'll go on the losing streak. But that's just my guess. But
yeah, he's got a fight coming up soon. I'm sure we'll get around when it comes up there, and we'll look at the fight and we'll review it and we'll see what we think he's going to do.
Yep.
So the next fight on UFC 144 was the fight you didn't see, which was Ricky Fukuda versus Steve Cantwell.
Mm-hmm.
Now I had gone for Fukuda to win, but I thought he would literally take Cantwell down and pin him down and hold him down for 15 minutes, which he didn't do. He actually outboxed him on the feet, which I didn't expect him to do, and it was actually quite good to watch. And it was a clear win. He just completely dominated him on the feet.
I'll have to go away and watch this, won't I?
Did you pick Fukuda to win that fight?
Yeah, I did.
So when you played that fight out in your head, did you picture him winning on the feet or on the ground?
I pictured him beating him in all angles, to be honest.
I thought he'd take him down and hold him down. I didn't think he'd outstrike him. I was quite surprised with what he did.
I think Steve Cantwell is a guy who has great technique, but when it comes to actually, he's got no speed and no power, and that's his downfall. That's what I've seen in his fights. But I guess he's fought some elite competition, hasn't he? Louis Kane.
He's got some wins. I mean, he beat Brian Stanley in an earlier fight, and he had that fight as well. It wasn't against a big name opponent where he broke the guy's arm.
Yeah.
That Razak Al Hassani broke his arm with an armbar, which was quite nasty.
He must be cut now. 5 straight losses.
I think he has been cut. There was a few names released the other day, 6 fighters that were cut. I'm sure he was on that list.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
I'll get
I
in a little bit, but I'm sure he was one of them.
I'll have to go away and watch that fight then.